Welcome to the first Breaking Out of the Bubble of the school year. I'm your host, Roxy Morris. Tonight we have a special show admiring the beauty and yet bizarre nature of fall that we have come to love so dearly. But first we go to Allison Wiseman for a segment on Hanover myths to tell us some of the spooky ghost stories of campus. Are they myths or truths? We may never know.
We've all walked around this campus at night and think we've seen a shadow of someone following us, or we've been laying in bed thinking we hear creepy crawlers in the walls. But then again, Hanover has been here since 1827, so something has to be haunted, and there's bound to be ghosts somewhere on this campus. Follow us tonight as we'll go figure out what's the truth and what's a myth. First off, we'll start with Donner Residence Hall. Now everyone says that the third floor Donner is haunted. Now, before you start questioning this, you should know that I've heard people and met people who have claimed to have interactions with this ghost and claim as they walk through the hall they get these cold chills down their spine and these goosebumps on their arms. Is it truth or is it a myth? Not all ghosts are mean, however. As you'll see here as our second stop of the night, we will be looking at Parker Auditorium. The ghost here is a friendly one because if you're sitting in one of the classrooms, you'll sometimes hear the door randomly shut, or you'll see paper start flying off the walls. And he clearly hasn't lost his sense of humor because if you go to the bathroom and you think someone's next to you and the toilet flushes, I promise you it's not an actual human being. Our third and final stop of the night is at CFA. Now, I'm sure many of you know who President Parker was, but people have claimed to see him physically sitting in the auditorium with them watching performances. Is that crazy or what? Now, it's up to you to decide if this is actually the truth or is it a myth, because you can't really see ghosts, can you? So tonight I have told you 3 different stories about this campus. Now it's up for you to decide whether these stories I have told you are the truth or are they myths.
I know I will be watching for ghosts on campus now. You never know what you'll see. Next we move on to Mallory Mars, who looks at this season's fall fashion. Will they step up or fall flat?
Hello everyone, I'm Mallory Mars and welcome to your Fall Fashion Flash. I have my top 3 trends for you and we shall see if you agree. When it comes to fall makeup, dark berry or wine color lips are popping up everywhere. Anywhere from movie screens to magazines and even on some of your own classmates, it's easy to spot. It simply dresses up your outfit a little more and makes you look a tad more put together for that 8 or 9 a.m. class. One of my personal favorite fall layering pieces is a poncho. Everyone thinks that ponchos were a thing of our middle school, early high school days, but since Forever 21 and some designers came out with a better design, they're all the rage. I know I have a few of my own that I love to layer and dress down, so try to snag one super soon. And heading down to the footwear region, personally you have seen them all over campus and they are perfect for snow, rain, soggy days, and you probably know that I'm talking about Hunter boots. I may be a little biased towards these because they're so comfortable, warm, and cute, and I also own 2 pairs. They come in different colors, styles, and lengths, so go make that investment. If you have a problem with any of these, you can come talk to me. I'm Mallory Mars, and that was your Fall Fashion Flash. Back to you, Roxy.
Thank you, Mallory. Now a quick question for you. How do I look? Great, kind of great? Okay, good to know. From fall festivals, disasters, and even fall sports, now we move to Hanover headlines with Hannah Taylor, Kylie Thomas, and Lindsay Burke.
Hello, welcome to Hanover Headlines, where we bring you the latest news on Hanover's campus. I'm Hannah Taylor.
And I'm Kylie Thomas. Thanks for joining us.
This last weekend in September always brings in one of Madison's biggest attractions. That's right, the Chautauqua Festival of Art is back. Kylie stopped by to see what the excitement is all about.
The art fills the street. The music fills the air. And visitors fill their appetite.
The food, man. I forgot to eat breakfast this morning.
All while attending the 45th annual Chautauqua Festival of Art here in Madison, Indiana. Artists like Jerry Landers flock to the festival every year to show off their craft.
So I work under a magnifying glass when I'm doing my work, and it takes me 2 years to finish a book.
It's the artists' love for their work
Every book is unique, and every book is also not just a story, but a search and find.
that brings in over 65,000 visitors to this 2-day event. Custom brooms, hand-blown ornaments, and home decor are just a short list of pieces up for sale. And with dedicated artists like Jerry Ryan Marcus,
This is my 26th year.
the festival isn't slowing down
We're having fun today. It's like so much stuff to do.
anytime soon. So whether you're enjoying the music at each corner or shopping for that perfect piece that catches your eye, everyone's here just to have a good time.
Great town, a wonderful crowd, good sales. It's always a good show.
Reporting for Hanover Headlines, I'm Kylie Thomas.
Wow, Kylie, it seems like those artists are really dedicated to Chautauqua.
Yeah, Hannah, one artist I met actually has been coming back for over 35 years.
Wow, talk about some history. But there's history right on campus, you know.
Yeah, history isn't just happening downtown Madison, but also right here on campus. Just recently, an ancient cuneiform tablet was found right here in Hanover's archives. The tablet was loaned to the college by the University of Chicago's Oriental Museum in 1940. History of the tablet goes back to 2600 BC when it was created. The tablet has since been returned to the curator of the University of Chicago's Oriental Museum, Dr. Walter Farber. However, it will remain a piece of Hanover's history for years to come.
Nearly 20 students living in Ide Hall were kicked out for a whole week, forced to live in rooms in KP, Donner, and Blythe. Kylie has the latest on what happened that left these students with no choice but to evacuate.
With school just starting again, Ide's second floor RA Logan Abernathy didn't expect to already be packing up his room.
Right now, the majority of residents in Ide aren't even living there because of what happened.
Just last night, this whole hallway was filled with residents, but now the only things that live here are fans and water damage.
Ran up the second floor and I realized that everybody was kind of running around, panicking.
That's because just one door down from Logan's, his residence room began flooding with water because a part of their fire sprinkler broke off.
It was uncontrollable water. From what I've heard so far, I think that they tried to shut it off, but there was problems with that.
The room was filling with water so quickly that they had to break the screen of the window to throw the water out.
Everybody was grabbing buckets, getting as much water as they can and throwing it out of the window because that was the quickest method at the time. They didn't even know what to think. I tried to talk to them and a lot of them were just completely speechless.
With TVs, computers, and books all ruined, it's not just the students paying the price. Now, the emergency relief company ServPro has industrial fans and dehumidifiers lining every room and hallway to fight the water damage. ServPro employees say the service is costing the school nearly $5,000 a night, with a grand total of around $20,000 by the end of this week.
It's just a crazy situation where a lot of things have to be taken care of.
And with residents unsure of when they can move back into their rooms,
Hours of sleep lost, sleeping on the couch. We're kind of all spread out right now.
the fans will continue to run, the rooms will stay vacant. Reporting for Hanover Headlines, I'm Kylie Thomas.
So have the residents been able to move back in yet?
Yeah, Hannah, they actually were just able to move back in just this past Monday. Logan told me yesterday that the musty smell is finally gone and it's actually cleaner than they left it.
Well, I'm glad to hear they've got that taken care of.
Yeah, me too. IDE residents aren't the only ones who have been faced with some unexpected changes here on campus. Students living in dorms on campus are used to having RAs in each hall, but this year, Greenwood residents are also expected to see RAs doing rounds right on their sidewalk.
It's no secret that this school year has brought many changes to Hanover's campus. Some, however, are not so popular among the student body. Greenwood apartments have always been upperclassmen living, with little to no supervision. Until this year, that is. Greenwood now sits under the watchful eye of the RAs who are responsible for doing rounds to the apartments, just like they do through traditional dorms on campus. Lindsay Falstick, Director of Resident Life and Leadership, says there should be no problems if students are being reasonable.
Sort of a safety and security piece, but of course, if you have an RA walking through, if they see something, they have to address it.
Falstick says she hopes to see a positive outcome from this new change.
Help people learn how to live in community, hold each other accountable.
Students like Maddie Bogan say RAs are not operating the way they should be.
I feel like the RAs are making a point to try to seek out trouble rather than to seek out safety. And that shift in focus, to me, puts the residents at odds with the RA and loses that trust.
Students who live in suites or apartments on campus all have to sign a contract upon moving in. Knowing the contents of that contract is vital for students who want to stay out of trouble.
If you are of age and you have your over 21 ID and you want to have beer and friends, do it. Go for it. No problem there, but just be reasonable.
Lindsay Falstick wants students to know that she is not here to ruin anyone's fun. Her word of advice? Just be reasonable. For Hanover Headlines, I'm Hannah Taylor.
Homecoming weekend at Hanover marked the beginning of a new chapter in the college's history. On Saturday, Lake Lambert III was officially inaugurated and given reign over the college. Most students, alumni, and faculty were there to witness the event.
Celebrate and remember the great hope of our founder, who began our institution with a vision and a small log cabin. It is a day to remember the hopes of alumni, alive and departed, who left our bluff on the Ohio to make a difference in the world.
President Lambert's first call to action involved a student forum where he answered questions and discussed any issues he plans to tackle while at Hanover.
From a new president to new events, this year brings changes for everyone. Last Sunday marked a new tradition for the men of Lambda Chi Alpha as they held their first annual watermelon bust. The event raised $500 for their national philanthropy, Feeding America. 8 teams participated, but more than 100 students attended the inaugural event. Raising money isn't so hard when it includes a watermelon toss, tug-of-war, relay races, and even a watermelon eating contest. The director of the event, Jack Simon, says they'll be back busting melons next year. Now to Lindsay Burke for an update on fall sports.
Everyone knows that the athletes put a lot of time into their sports here on campus, but when does that hard work start? I heard news that the softball team was putting in a lot of time that's going to help them now and possibly get recruits. I decided to head out to their field and check it out for myself. Softball may be a spring sport, but the work the team puts in is a year-long commitment. Expectations are rising after last year was a year full of new things for the Hanover College Panthers softball team. Cobb Speedell Stadium was completed, and the Panthers had a very successful season. One of the new expectations for the team are camps for prospective players. The first ever Panther softball camp happened on September 27th, and the plan is to have more in the future.
I enjoyed being out there with the pitchers because I'm a pitcher myself, and I was able to give helpful tips to the other pitchers here today.
The high school girls who attended weren't just getting tips, they were also being evaluated in order to give them a better idea on what to work on. When I talked to the Panthers, they seemed eager to help out the potential recruits.
I think that they're going to be able to get a lot of constructive criticism today and a lot of advice because we've been through what they're going through right now. So.
Last season, the Panthers finished up with their most successful season to date. They made it all the way to the conference tournament, which is the first time in over 10 years. They made it all the way to the championship game, ultimately falling short to Anderson University. The hope is that camps like this are going to bring in new talent and new prospective students to the Hanover Panther softball team. For Panther Prowl, I'm Lindsay Burke. Life is back in full swing, and that means fall sports are back in action also. The campus and the football team celebrated homecoming this past weekend. Although the team did not come out on top, the campus was not short with school spirit. The Panther football team will be back in action this week to take on Mount St. Joseph. Men's soccer is off to a great start, and they're currently undefeated in conference play. Their most recent win was against Earlham, 2-0. In women's action, the soccer team has 7 wins so far and is also undefeated in the conference. They'll be back in action at Manchester and Mount St. Joseph this week. And volleyball has no losses in the conference and has a great winning record. With about half the season left to play, we're excited to see how the Panthers finish up their seasons. That's all for sports. Back to you, Hannah.
And that's the latest news around campus. Thanks for tuning in as we brought you your Hanover headlines. I'm Hannah Taylor.
And I'm Kylie Thomas. Thanks for joining us and have a great day.
Excellent work, everyone. You really are making this college proud. Now it is time for the Student Spotlight, where our own Allison Wiseman talks to Kay Branham about her involvement in the Spanish Club.
Hi, my name is Allison Wiseman, your host for Student Spotlight. We're here today to talk about a club on campus that has a lot going on. With me I have senior Kay Branham, the president of the Spanish Club. Hi Kay, thanks for coming on the show tonight.
Thank you.
Do you have any new plans for this year?
Actually, I do. We have the food truck that's coming up on October 23rd. We also have the food truck event that's coming up on the 29th with the movie. And we also have Day of the Dead, which is on the 30th of October. It's from 8 to 11, and it's supposed to be in the quad, weather permitting, but hopefully it'll be there. But otherwise, we're going to have it in the WAC, and I'm super excited about it.
How long have you been involved with the Spanish Club?
I have been involved in the Spanish Club ever since my freshman year. However, I haven't taken an exec position. I think my first exec position was I was PR my sophomore year, and then I am now the president. So
that's really cool. So what exactly is the Day of the Dead?
So the Day of the Dead is or Día de los Muertos, and that's how you say it in Spanish. And so it starts actually November 1st, but because of kind of the way that the campus is run, I'm having it on a Friday. So typically it's celebrated through, you have like an altar and you celebrate your ancestors, but it's all about just like honoring your ancestors in a fun way. So like people come out and dance, people paint skulls, they dedicate the sugar skulls to the altar. So it's basically just a huge dancing event that also attributes to ancestor worship.
So is this like just celebrated in only Mexico, or is it more globally?
Actually, while it is celebrated mostly in Mexico, it's celebrated all throughout Latin America. And even in California, especially because they have like a huge Latin American population.
So like back to the sugar skulls you were just talking about, I've seen and heard about them many times. Like what do those actually represent?
Okay, so the sugar skulls are, in Spanish they're called calaveras, and they essentially represent your ancestor. So people kind of decorate them elaborately to kind of honor people in their family who have passed away. And the way that the Latin American culture perceives death is not necessarily something sad, but something to celebrate, as in you've passed from life to the afterlife. So the whole idea is to decorate these skulls in like these cool, elaborate ways. And actually we're having professional painters come in too, and you can get your face painted just like, how you've seen the sugar skulls, how they're decorated. So that's basically what the sugar skulls are about.
That sounds really, really cool. And what are some like end goals you have for this big event for your club this year?
I guess one of my end goals would be for a lot of people to show up. We've got a ton of like cool activities to do. Kaleidoscope is having a movie beforehand at like 6:30. It's called The Book of Life. It's a really good movie. And then after, we've got, the face painting, we've got dancing, we've got music, and then we're getting pan de muertos, which is a really good sweetbread. So I guess my end goal is for people to show up and also so that people will learn about Day of the Dead. So yeah, that's basically it.
So one final question, how can other people be involved in the Spanish Club? Because it sounds really, really interesting and really, really fun.
Okay, well, one way that you can get involved is obviously you can email me since I'm the president, but we have a new PR person. Her name is Awilda Rodriguez, and you can email her too if you want to be put on the Spanish Club list. You can also get involved with us on social media. We've got a Twitter, and we've got an Instagram and a Facebook too. So give us a like, post about our events, come to our meetings.
That's really fun. Well, it sounds like you have a lot of big plans ahead, and I cannot wait to hear and see all the progress you guys make. If you're interested in helping with the Spanish Club or getting more information, like she said, you can email her, and you can follow her on Hanover Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever you want. Back to you, Roxy.
No sé nada de español. That honestly is about all I know. Bravo, and thanks for that information. We close with a horror comedy film trailer from Hanover College's fall blockbuster list that will scare the pants off of you, both literally and figuratively. Let's have a look.
Coming this fall, one student will experience every student's worst nightmare. Alarms will not go off. Schedules will be forgotten.
All right, class. Welcome to the philosophy of advanced astrophysics geology in Latin, in Russian. All right, so class, the aspects of cooperativity are key to the mechanism by which hemoglobin carries blood. Furthermore, with the Coriolis effect, things in the south moving upwards tend to move towards the west. And as such, we have what they call the T state and the R state. Now, what does the sigmoid curve tell us?
Textbooks will be forgotten. And tests will not be studied for.
Good afternoon, students. You won't need your books today. Because, as I've announced several times, we're having a little midterm today, and it's worth 120% of your grade.
In the struggle.
One more thing. Where are your pants?
2015.
I know that I am both very amused, yet internally terrified all at the same time, meaning it's sure to be a classic. Well, that concludes our show. Look for our shows around once a month on Facebook, YouTube, and cable. Stay colorful.